up having unprotected sex with somebody what page is this you on? I have never read this book. If you just talking, you wouldn't be in paternity court. I need to understand because a female cannot impregnate anybody, and this is paternity court, so we need somebody to be a father.
Miss Kelly's got twin trouble, Amra and Amia. She claimed, Norris, you're the dad, but Mr. Norris was like, not me. They were DNA battling to find out who's got that twin win gene. But hold on a second. Our man of the hour believed he got a genetic proof that will land the ball right in the net.
You admittedly have not stepped up.
Yes, Your Honor. I don't want to become financial or emotionally involved because I'm not the father.
Explain why.
We were not ever in a committed relationship, so...
Well, it doesn't take that to make a baby. You know that.
It doesn't take that.
The alleged baby daddy did claim to have an unprotected action with the baby mama, but to our surprise, he claimed to not finish the deed. What a contradiction, right? Just listen to Mr. Hotshot giving away his 2 cents.
I remember it, but I remember not finishing. We had a second time. She did tell me she was pregnant. I told her, till I'm 100% sure, I'm not gonna give you 100%.
For some reason, guys love to have sex, but then they don't want to ever claim what they did. They always want to have sex, and then when a baby comes, it's not theirs. I don't want to keep going through this.
Talk about spitting some facts. However, Miss Kelly desperately needs Mr. Norris to step up as a parent because she's already a single mom with 3 children. She believes that co-parenting should be a shared responsibility as she struggles to provide for her kids on her own.
He knows I'm a single mom. You would have thought that he would have been more careful. It was because me and him, we were on the same page at the time. We were calling each other. I was coming over his house.
But when you call each other and come over to one another's house, that doesn't mean that you have unprotected sex when you both are single parents and can't barely take care of the children you have.
Come on, how reckless can you be, Miss Kelly? You have been on a streak for about 19 months, and you let this guy talk you out of it. I'm just amazed at how people can get cozy with people who aren't even committed to them. And Judge Lake was just clearly mad at this behavior.
How you end up having unprotected sex with somebody that they're not even committed to you. If a man doesn't claim you, what would make you think he would claim children? You're saying he wouldn't do anything. He wasn't helping. He didn't provide.
But he knows.
He wasn't present.
But he knows what it was between me and him.
I'm like, these adults are indeed missing a scoop of reality, but soon after Miss Kelly was told about her miscalculations, she started to play the tone of Virgin Mary. We are not sure, but just heard her speech.
I know that now. Why would I have unprotected sex with somebody I'm not with? Now I know that now because I'm back to being,
And all this falls on you. At the end of the day, you see,
I'm the one with the kids, and I'm the one that has to take care of the kids.
There's that old saying, mama's baby, papa's maybe.
But wait, we all know that the alleged baby daddy did mention having genetic proof. We roll the red carpet, guys, here entering the climax of sickle cell trait. Mr. Norris came in with explaining his major doubts. Aw, man!
They both have the sickle cell trait. The sickle cell trait can only be passed genetically, which means either the mother has to have it or the father. Once you're said to have the trait, you go back to the doctor. 4 or 5 months later, you get the shot to see if you have the disease. I don't have the sickle cell trait, either does mine. I went further in investigating myself. My mother's like, well, that's your proof right there, like you're not the father.
What a mystery is this? I think after this, the only way to move forward is to get the results. I mean, you can only just question science with science. So, here's Judge Lake in an attempt to bring closure to the single mother misery, presenting you the DNA results.
Mr. Norris, you are their father. How does it feel, Mr. Norris?
I got twin girls.
That's what I wanted to hear.
It's time to figure out and get this show on the road, really. I've always wanted a girl, and to have 2 of them is a big deal. We'll make it work.
What will you do if you find out that your wife has repeatedly cheated on you? Not just with men, but with women too. What? Now, that's a sight most husbands fear. However, we meet Mr. Green, who has been living your worst nightmare. And above all, his wife's cozy track record has led him to doubt her child's paternity.
You're gonna get back to the part I need to understand because a female cannot impregnate anybody, and this is paternity court, so we need somebody to be a father.
Well, I am the father. I'm the one that got him down.
Isn't that just hilarious? Feels like Miss Green had been one colorful baby mama / queer queen. But hold on. The baby mama isn't just the sole relationship killer. Mr. Green has also been playing fireball with other women. Just hear this out.
Then there was another time where, like, I flew back from Atlanta. Like, we said we was gonna get it together. You know what I'm saying? I flew back from Atlanta, came in the house,
where he
we're
left
chilling.
with another woman. The whole story.
We was broken up. You already had another child by somebody else.
Okay.
So what you mean?
Yes, ma'am, I did. And he would have also had another child during that point. If
Allegedly.
there is still another child
What
that
kind
is
of
possibly
marriage
his.
is this?
Yeah, you are 100% right. What kind of marriage is this? Let me put this together for you all. They were both in a marriage, but they were behaving like a high school couple. Such bizarre allegations had been really on my nerves. Listen to another confession.
Where were you at when you were out of town?
I was in Atlanta
Right, in Atlanta, right.
with my son moms, but we wasn't together.
So what are you talking about then?
Let's get this straight. Were you in Atlanta with your son's mother, or were you in Atlanta visiting your son? There's a difference.
I had it out there, and I was,
He
you know,
was
going
in
here, going
Atlanta
there.
living with his son's mother.
Maybe we just got sidetracked from our main theme, the paternity in question. So, how about we just divert this marriage situation for some other time? So let's find out about the big pregnancy deal. If the marriage is such a mess, I wonder how messy this news could have been.
When do you learn she's pregnant?
2 weeks after I came back from Atlanta.
He's away in Atlanta. You guys are on another break. He comes back. You admit that you had been sleeping with other men and women and having your own fun. He comes back and then you're pregnant.
He was back for like a month before I found out I was pregnant.
Okay, so here's the juicy part we have all been waiting for. You see, right around the time when the baby was on its way, Mr. Green had started to hear some gossip about the baby mama. How scandalous! But just wait, here comes another spiced up allegation.
She be on the barbershops all the time, messing with this one, messing with that one.
All of this was happening during the time the baby was conceived?
Yeah, this is all around the same time, yes. We was partying, having a good time. But at the end of the day, I was about you, and that was that. You was about everything else. I didn't want none of that. You know what I'm saying? That was something that
didn't
you
want it,
wanted.
that's
That's
why you
something you brought the
participated
milkshake
in
to the
it.
yard. I
Right,
did not.
okay.
You did.
The swirling allegations had thoroughly complicated the matter with Mr. Green at the center of it all. Accusations ranged from intimate encounters to involvement with numerous individuals of both genders. Yikes! We are just bored this time, so how about we get those results?
Mr. Green, you are the father.
Now turn up to that. Turn up now. Yeah.
That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know. Why you all mad? Like, come on.
I don't know what you all thought marriage was when you got into it, but you obviously had no clue.
Oh my gosh, even with all that doubt? Someone had to teach these adults to be responsible individuals. Now, wasn't that just frustration to watch? It feels like no one was ready for the commitment, and yet they were in this marriage. So, Judge Lake, how about a quick guide to a marriage?
You all are over here supposed to be married to one another, sleeping with this person, sleeping with that person, and bringing children into this world within this mess. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna keep it really real, it's shameful.
Mr. Deaver went through his wife's cell phone while she was sleeping and discovered she had slept with another man. The classic case of getting caught. Now he has been singing the same old lullaby, mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
When guys are having sex, because I'm a male myself and I know how it goes. You can initially put the condom on, but you know, while you're having
Your Honor, I
sex,
would know if I
guys,
had
they
spare. I
can
would know
slip the
that.
condom off, do different things, stuff like that, so you never really know.
You don't believe her saying it was protected?
She couldn't know 100%, like I
Yes,
said,
I
because
do.
guys do that.
In my opinion, sir, that ain't your doubt, but that's your paranoia. But if you flip the coin, the opposite can also be a reality, right? The bottom line is, this paternity doubt was quite a dilemma. However, this whole scenario was based on revenge. Let's hear that part.
Mr. Walton, you admit you had cheated on her,
Yes.
but then she retaliated, had sex with a person you say was your childhood friend or someone you knew?
Yes, having sex with a guy that I knew for years. We was always together, yes, and other guys that I know of.
So you think it's more than one guy?
Now, there's like not one, but more than one person involved in cheating. I mean, like, wow. To put the cherry on top, Miss Walton did admit to cheating, if that's ever gonna help. Give me a break! Aw, man!
I wasn't trying to confuse him. When I told him I had sex with the other guy besides the other one, he went through my phone once and found out about one guy. The other guy I told him about verbally. He didn't have to go through my phone and find it out. And I didn't do it in a joking manner or anything. I told him verbally I had sex with this guy.
Well,
But you used protection with both men.
Yes.
What did she just confess? Does this feel like a functional relationship to anyone? Come on! But if this was overwhelming for you, in another shocking revelation, Miss Walton admits to faking a pregnancy test to get back at Mr. Dever.
So you faked the pregnancy test, Miss Dever?
Yes, ma'am, I did. I wanted him to feel the exact way I felt when he did all the things that he did to me. He's cheated on me numerous times with numerous women, and he didn't stop there. It's been numerous of sex.
You said you were gonna get back at him by telling him you were pregnant?
Yes, I wanted him to suffer the way I did.
Now, isn't that one creative way to get back at your man? But at what stake? Yeah, right. At the future of your child? What a stupid move, ma'am. Although, when Miss Walton got pregnant, somebody screamed, "Liar! Pants on fire!"
When she told me she was pregnant, I didn't believe her. She sent me the picture of the test. Of course, I'm not gonna believe that since she lied before. When we actually went to the actual place, that's when I did believe her. But I still was thinking in my mind that she could fake this one as well, me being there. I don't know how.
Why can't these people stay committed to just one person? I mean, why y'all have to go through such a hustle to prove yourself to one another? Oh man, how about Judge Lake shed some light on what went down to help these two understand the reality?
She would never be in the position she was in to hurt that badly. Look, you know the saying, hell have no fury. Like a what? Woman scorned. You obviously don't know the saying because you don't practice the meaning by it. Meaning, you don't mess with a woman.
Finally, some wisdom words, folks. So, now, how about we just move forward to the DNA test results to bring closure to the couple who have been hurting for years? So, here's the final concealed truth about to set the record straight.
Mr. Dever, you are his father.
I know. Never heard.
How do you feel, Miss Walton?
I'm happy, but I already knew. He had doubts, but I knew.
Do you remember Mr. Zaria? If not, let me remind you, he's the same dude who walked out of the courtroom devastated upon finding out he's not the biological father of the defendant, Miss Nadia's son. Now he's ready for round two, questioning the paternity of her 8-month-old daughter.
I think that Cameron and Ariella look alike. Both the babies look alike.
And they're
Why?
both mine, so hence why they look alike.
Yeah, but that Cameron wasn't mine, so I really don't know whose it is. If it's not mine, it could be several people, so that's the main thing.
And you say it could be several people's.
Yes.
I mean, the guy was sort of right indeed, minus the disrespectful part. Mr. Zara already had his trust shattered by this woman. I'm just amazed to see he was ever even here again. But as for the claim of sleeping with everyone, I don't know, man.
When I got pregnant with Ariella, I was only sleeping with Mr. Zara. Me and Mr. McCaffrey stopped sleeping together years ago.
She was pretty much the community jump-off. She was sleeping with me, my boy, and him, but who knows if it was all at the same time.
Miss Nadia, what had you gotten yourself into? If only you should show some respect to yourself. Now these men were just standing in the court labeling you nothing more than a community property. But wait, there were also some surprise witnesses singing the same tone.
I've known Tyler for a while, Mr. McCarthy for a while, and I stopped to say what's up, and then Kayla ended up getting into an altercation with
And that's Miss Nato?
Yes, with an individual that I was with. We kept it moving from there, but I seen the two together, hanging together and everything.
But hold on, remember the man who turned out to be the father last time? Well, yeah, right. Mr. Stanatilli, he also tagged along for another round. And now this time he's making allegations against someone else. Now that's something you call a spin of faith.
For a lot of people that hung around with them, they were all coming up to me, telling me that Tommy is out there with Kayla. At first, I was mad that he was with Kayla, because like I said, she was my girl.
But
and then
friends,
people are
best
telling me
friends.
that she's now pregnant with Tommy's daughter, but she's doing the same thing to Tommy that she did to me.
Absolutely
that she was
not.
sleeping around with Tyler at the same time. There was actually two people, but the other guy is not here, so I'm not gonna use his name.
What is happening? Isn't that just a parade of testimony against the woman? But buckle up for some life lessons, Miss Nadu. Right when everyone was done complaining, you had Judge Lake for a reality punch. I'm not sure if she was thankful for this.
Why were you two hanging around together?
Because we were friends. I'm not allowed to be friends with somebody I previously slept with.
Well, you can. It's a possibility. The man that believes he's the father of a certain baby may have a doubt about whether he is the father of that baby based upon the fact that the last time you were in court with him, he was not the father of the baby when the results were read.
But among all the evidence and testimony against the defendant, there was one ray of hope. Mr. Zara's request for a lie detector test is fulfilled, and the results reveal something we all were expecting. Hear this out? What a change!
You all have a little bit too much cockiness, a little bit too much swagger, but you don't have nothing to back it up. And to sit up and downgrade their mother is trifling, thankfully.
So, now this result just narrows everything down to Mr. Zara and Mr. McCaffrey. Now we have that part cleared out. How about we just move on to the DNA results and put an end to this paternity triangle? So, volume up, paternity peeps.
It has been determined by this court that her father is Mr. Zara.
You have a lot of apologizing to do.
You didn't apologize to me, just saying.
I don't have an apology to owe to you.
Right, so he don't have one to pay?
Yes, he does.
I don't have an apology to anyone.
You apologize every other day.
All right, folks, you wouldn't believe the latest scoop. Kaylee Woodbury, our beloved reality TV star, is on a mission to win the Ultimate Paternity Award. Yep, that's right. She was out to prove her fiancé, not some mystery man, that he deserves the proud papa title to her kiddo. A good tabloid. Do eat your heart out.
I mean, I know 110% that Daquan is the father of my child. I don't sleep with no one. I don't look at nobody. I don't have feelings for no one else but this man. There's always gonna be people in his ear no matter where we go, just because I do have that reality star TV persona. And it could be not even denying our son or anything.
Oh, classic superstar dilemma, right? Rumors raining like confetti on their parade. Mr. Cage, the midget winner, had a real heart-to-heart with the court. He achieved a world record for coziness at the speed of light.
Did you use protection?
No.
Oh, y'all are doing the most. So we start off irresponsible.
Yeah, yes.
Have you decided your boyfriend and girlfriend now? I mean, what is
Not right
this?
away. No, not right away.
We were still just like hanging out. I mean, like, people were always telling me, they were just like, even some of her co-stars, they were just like, hey, listen, don't trust Kaylee. She's out there.
If you think that all of that too, FYI, Mr. Cage, the Sherlock of Celebville, had cracked the superstar code. Not only that, he's got a crystal ball for her playbook. How about we hit the warp speed button and zoom right into the baby bump part? Yeah, you knew we were headed to this.
I told her she was lying. I was like, you're lying. She was like, no, I'm not. I'll go get another one. And I was like, go get another one. She got another one. It was positive. And I mean, like, I was happy but scared at the same time.
When does the doubt just set in and you go?
Well, the doubt started kicking in.
3 months.
Yeah, around 3 months.
The baby daddy wasn't feeling comfy with the plaintiff hanging around with this other guy. And, you know, the whole scene just screamed doubt. It's like a puzzle piece that fits, right? Defendant had a big question mark hovering over his head.
You were saying all the right things, but you were feeling something different.
Of course. I'm just.
You really weren't living your best life. You was living your best lie.
Yeah.
Right? And Miss Woodbury, what it seems like to me is this public persona was affecting your relationship.
Very much so. And then especially when it's my child, like our child.
Buckle up for the show. Doubt's in the driver's seat, and guess who's riding shotgun? Judge Jake. It's like she's got a PhD in raising eyebrows. This TV star's in for a lesson, folks. Time to take notes.
When you start singing a song about, and see, says he's got dimples and he's got dimples. He's got an eye and he's got an eye. Right? He likes eggs and he likes eggs. Like that, when that song starts to play, what it tells me is there is doubt.
Now, here's a twist that even roller coasters envy. Not so famous boyfriend at some point had a who's your daddy moment, claiming the mini-human resembles the other dude. The baby mama turned into a professional denier, shedding that theory like a boss.
I feel like there's certain features.
Where?
I feel like
Where?
features.
He looks, okay, one, he's so much darker than you. And
It don't matter, you're...
No,
Like...
just no. He looks
I don't have to say it.
110% nothing like the other man. The other man looks nothing like him.
Well, after enough, he said, she said, our court, Queen Judge Lake, steps in for the big revelation because the anticipation was killing them. The DNA showdown went on with the closure sticker, or something like this.
You are the father. Thank you. I can see how relieved you are.
Yeah.
How does it feel to just finally know?
I can marry her and finish where we left off, because that was my goal when I met her.
You won't believe it. Could a newspaper article play matchmaker? Our gutsy gal, Miss Garner, reads it and wonders, could this be Dad? And now she headed to court, all fired up to prove her lifelong question isn't just a question anymore, at the expense of her sister's disbelief.
I believe that my sister is defaming my mother's name by making accusations that Mr. Smith is her father. All of our life, we have believed that this man right here, Lucius Kirkland, is the man that is Carmen's father. This is the man that my mother has said to be her father, and this is the man that I believe is her father.
However, folks, Miss Spencer was in the ring, and the mama bear protector here, not letting any disgrace past her watchful eye. But wait for it, Miss Garner's playing the accusations card, like a courtroom magician told that back in 7th grade, a random lady approached her saying, "Hey, I'm your aunt." Seriously?
She heard about that in the 7th grade. That would have made you how old, Carmen?
About 12 or 13.
And when did he come to you?
When I was 37 years old.
That means he thought about it when she was 12 or 13 too, Your Honor. That's when he should have stood up.
So, Miss Garner, your mother told you when you approached her and said someone had said this to you, she said they're lying.
She said they're lying, they made it up.
Can you believe it, peeps? Miss Spencer's maybe dad pops up thanks to a newspaper article. It's like something out of a crazy storybook. And hold on to your seats, because Mr. Smith's stepping in to spill the beans.
It was in the paper, in the Canton paper. I got a call from my oldest daughter that Carmen is your daughter. I've started reading the paper, and then what happened was, then I started to try to communicate with her, with Carmen. This is 20 years later.
She saw the article and called you.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, brace yourselves for some hot twists and turns. Miss Spencer's not taking this mind-boggler lying down. She's got her detective cap on, wondering why the potential dad's been MIA until now, despite being practically neighbors.
When you were with Miss Garner's mother and Miss Spencer's mother, did you remember her also being in a relationship with someone else? Lucius, anybody? Do you remember that?
Well, we dated for about a year.
Okay.
But at that particular time, Your Honor, I did not.
Okay.
If he dealt with her for a whole year, he had to have known something.
It's like a puzzle missing a key piece. Miss Spencer was in the mood for Concern Express. But oh snap, here comes Miss Garner ready to sprinkle some more facts into this paternity potion, making everything even more confusing for the courtroom. Here, listen to what she has to say.
I believe my mother was 20 years old, and if I can remember doing things when I was 20 years old, it could be very much so possible. For me to stand here and say, no, it never happened, and I know it didn't happen. Kathy was 8 years old when Mom died. I was 17, I'm the oldest. And she sits down and she acts like Mother sat around like at a fire camp and told them all they business.
Ah, the classic sister showdown. Judge Lake, our peacemaker, waved the white flag of wisdom to settle this sibling scuffle. The big reveal was on the horizon, aiming to add some much-needed clarity to this family circus.
Mr. Smith, you are her father.
Glory!
Oh man, well, grab the tissues and let those tears flow, guys. It was like a soap opera with a standing ovation. Therefore, Mr. Smith, the heartwarming maestro, plays a melody of gratitude that hits Judge Lake right in the feels.
I was watching your show, and the young lady called me, and I said, I don't do that other stuff. I said, I'm watching. She said, oh, that's where you going. I said, well, let's go, but before that, I wasn't going to go on no show. But God bless you, and I really love you.
Well, thank you. This is a courtroom that takes family very serious.
How would you feel if you had a storybook romance until your child is born with a rare illness? Mrs. Whittier was facing a similar situation where her boyfriend was doing the "Is this my kid" dance. Huh? Talk about a romance script going off-road.
Shortly before Lucas's birth, we had an argument, and that argument led to the ultimate gonna shut him up kind of moment. So I said, well, how do you know if it's even yours?
You say that in the argument?
Yes. I never doubted it was his, but I just kind of wanted to end the argument and let it be done. And I've regretted that statement ever since I made it.
Oh, let's break out this rom-com, people. Miss Whittier spills the beans as their love story was hotter than a summer beach. But hey, here comes the ominous clouds. Like an evil eye, this was the main rift that settled everything on the crash course.
There was some argument.
There were some arguments?
Yeah.
Yes, and an ex of mine decided to be disgusting and send a very vulgar message to my phone. He found it and thought that maybe there was some continuing relationship there.
Oh, okay.
And then I moved in with my ex.
Oh boy! Things took a nosedive thanks to the classic infidelity bomb. Talk about a speedy script flip, right? It's like the drama meter went from 0 to 100 in a nanosecond. Anyways, when the baby was born, the situation was something like this.
You know, look at your family. Your family doesn't have these health problems. They don't have these medical problems. And these are, you know, only inherited things. Well, that's not entirely true, you know.
Mr. Reed, you were there on the day Lucas was born as well?
Oh, yes.
You did?
I held one leg, folded her up, my mom had the other one, and she pushed, and the baby come out. And buddy, and I instantly cried. As soon as that
He cried more than I did.
Wow, that was a real head scratcher, wasn't it? The baby mama was still hitched, legally speaking. So the hospital was like, sorry, Mr. Reed, no birth certificate party for you. Seriously, can things get any more tangled? Take a look at what the baby mama said next.
Lucas started getting really sick. When he was 2 weeks old, he had his first grand mal seizure. Sometime during that 3-week hospitalization, Joe's like, how does this happen? You know, nobody in my family has seizures. Nobody in my family, any of the feeding issues or the heart issues or the brain issues that Lucas does.
Oh, talk about a plot twist. The baby's health hiccup cranked up the spice, pushing those doubts into overdrive. Although Mr. Reed was involved with the baby's mother, it's like sometimes you plan and the universe plans. Here is what he adds to this testimony.
Mr. Reed, you submitted a graft to the court, and you're saying on your side of the family, your grandmother, grandfather, on both sides, maternal and paternal.
No, I had
your mother and father.
Yeah, nobody has albinism. I've never heard of anybody in my
No one.
Nobody.
There's no one with an actual diagnosis, but there's several people who show similar symptoms.
Well, 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 talk about a surprise topping. After the baby mama's confession, the spotlight turned dimmer on her. But hold on, here comes Judge Lake, calling an expert ready to drop some truth bombs of her own. It's like a courtroom with a twisty twist.
And this court wants to understand, is albinism passed genetically?
Albinism is passed genetically from the parents to the child, but depending on which gene is affected, depends on whether both parents or one parent passes it.
Oh.
Normally, the albinism trait is recessive.
Just stay right there, paternity enthusiasts, because we've got emotion-packed testimonies that flew left and right. Even the experts tossed in their 2 cents. But guess what? This broken duo's destiny lies in the hands of DNA results. Drumroll, please. It's time for the grand unveil.
Mr. Reed, you are the father. I can see how relieved you are.
I'm shaking. I'm shaking, man. This is the happiest day of my life. Aside from him being born, it's the happiest day of my life.
Oh, don't skip this one, people. For this one, we've got Mr. Gilbert with baby dreams. But wait for it, his sister swoops in, stirring the pot with accusations about him and his daddyhood. It's like a reality TV knockoff with whispers and drama in the air.
When I got pregnant, he was there, and it's like when he told his family I was pregnant, that's when they turned against me, and they had put in his mind that he's not the father of my son.
You were in a relationship?
Yes, we met in my old neighborhood. It was like love at first sight. We was friends first when we was in love. I didn't want to get pregnant, but he wanted to chat.
Our leading man raised an eyebrow at the baby mama's crew. Not his cup of tea, apparently. But just 4 months in, Mr. Gilbert was all like, you, baby mama. Talk about speed dating for parenthood, right? Just look how cozy he was before the concerns.
He wrote a love song about me.
You're a singer, Mr. Gilbert?
Yes, ma'am.
And you wrote a love song about her?
Yes, ma'am.
So I don't understand how you're doubting her.
Not down her. It's just down the situation at hand. It's like my family don't feel like he mine.
They don't know me.
My family don't feel like he mine. Maybe it's the persona she gave off, you know?
They don't know me.
She
but
give
they
me
was
different
friends. They
vibes.
was cool with me at first.
With secrets and suspense in the spotlight, Mr. Gilbert has always wished the baby to be his, as he broke down mid-trial. Here comes the sister ready to clarify her testimony. Oh, let the games begin. Listen to what she testified.
The streets talk, and she was messing with other people at the time, Your Honor.
What other people? You don't even know me.
That's why I'm
When?
saying
Where?
we heard from
When and
people
where?
that she was pregnant before she started messing with my brother. And my brother,
That's
he
my
probably, if
first
he could
child,
have
my
kids,
only
he'd have
child.
6 of them. He hasn't had any, and that's why we're in denial because my brother, he's sick and he haven't conceived any kids.
Plot twist alert. Guys, Mr. Gilbert's got a past bout with scarlet fever, and the sister's concerns bringing some genuine allegations to the table. However, the plaintiff, like an immovable rock, denied every word thrown her way.
He's still there?
Take care of him. He be there for him.
But you know he has the doubt, and you say it's because of his family.
Yeah.
The truth is, if in fact he is Corey's biological father, the way you say, that's his aunt.
Right.
Miss Davis steps onto the scene, all smiles and sunshine, thinking she's got the golden ticket to love paradise. Fast forward, and suddenly the gang's united against her, and it's party time in camp. Let's gang up on Miss Davis.
He's still there?
Take care of him. He be there for him.
But you know he has the doubt, and you say it's because of his family.
Yeah.
The truth is, if in fact he is Corey's biological father, the way you say, that's his aunt.
Right.
Ladies and gents, time for a jaw dropper. Guess whose name's on that birth certificate? Yep, you got it. Mr. Gilbert's in the spotlight. He was all about baby support until dun 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 entered the family. Just listen to what happens next.
What's the nature of your relationship right now? You're working on a relationship?
Yeah, what I heard, she was pregnant right now by another man.
So, you lying.
They still together.
You lying.
Wait a minute. Wait, hold on.
Oh, the sister versus baby mama clash was in full swing. They tossed words like bullets. However, Judge Lakes hold my gavel. She steps in with the ultimate truth serum, the DNA results. Cue the mic drop on those feisty arguments.
Mr. Gilbert, you are the father.
The Rachel and Jackson saga is a wild roller coaster that's got you gripping your seat, and there's some juicy reasons why. Jackson's got major doubts about being Matthias's dad because Rachel was chilling with another dude when she was preggers. But Rachel's got a big theory of her own, thinking Matthias is Jackson's spawn.
I told him that I was pregnant. He basically said that he gave me a Christmas gift because he didn't give me anything for Christmas.
Are you disagreeing that it was Christmas Eve, or you're disagreeing that you're the
I'm disagreeing
person
that
she's
it
having
was
sex with?
I'm disagreeing on both behalves because she was living with another male, so it's kind of like hard to like judge her.
These two? Well, their history is like a never-ending soap opera. They actually went to school together, and then, guess what? Jackson spilled his heart on some website, and they started a short-lived romance. But the real shocker? They got busy without any protection. Whoa!
What information do you have that would suggest that she was
had
having
another
sex with
male
somebody
living
else?
with her, and it was a time that like I was snooping around her house and I had seen a box because she had said it was taking some stuff to store it. And
That
in that
means me and
box,
my
it was some
exes-
condoms in the box.
So when you were in her house, you were snooping around and you saw some condoms in a box.
But hold on to your hat. Rachel pulled a fast one in court. First, she claimed she never got busy with anyone but Jackson. But when Jackson spilled the tea about her shady moves, she finally coughed up the truth. She hooked up with her ex while Jackson wasn't looking. Sneaky!
But you do admit you had sex with him.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, and I was on vacation one time. Like I was snooping around, and I got a phone, and I seen like was texting numerous people. So I had snooped and went through one of the texts, and I seen like she was texting this guy, and he was like calling her bouncy.
You're doing a lot of snooping.
Thanks to Rachel's shady business, poor Jackson turned into a full-on detective. That's why he's all confused about whether Matthias is his kid. And to top it off, the little dude doesn't even look like him. Meanwhile, Rachel keeps defending her questionable actions. Drama alert.
So these are messages to countless, lots and lots of women. So from the looks of these messages, it seems like you entertaining these women.
The reason why I did what I did because like she had messages in her phone from her other fella that was talking about working on their relationship.
But guess what? Rachel might actually be onto something. It's Jackson driving her crazy now. She's done with him because he's acting like a bossy diva and not stepping up for Matthias. Rachel even offered to foot the bill for a paternity test, but Jackson's still slacking off. No wonder Rachel's losing it.
He's there. If y'all don't like it, then I don't care.
He has not accepted it, and neither has anyone in his family.
No.
Do you feel like any of their doubts are valid? Do you feel like anything you've done, just the relationship, the cheating with your ex, and those kinds of things, do you understand why?
No, I do not understand.
Rachel even brought in her buddy as a witness, and she spilled the beans on how Jackson never did the dad thing right. He didn't even chip in $5 when the diapers were running low. Seriously, he's a total flop. All Rachel wanted was a family, but it's looking like she's stuck in a mess.
I actually want a family. I had a family before. That's why it kills me. I left my family for him. I did not have to want for nothing, Your Honor. My daughter, father gave me the world. He takes care of his child. To this day, he still takes care of his child. I wanted the same thing with him. You're not just gonna leave just to be with a messed up man. Like, why?
It's pretty clear that these two need to step into the time machine and put their messy past behind them. And if Matthias turns out to be Jackson's flesh and blood, will he step up and be a better dad? Most importantly, can he fix things with Rachel? Let's see what destiny has in store for these two.
Mr. Jackson, you are Matthias's father.
Okay. At least, like, if I can get a hug, you mind if I get a hug? So I can, no accusation?
That's up to her. That's up to her. He said he'd like to give you a hug. Are you okay with that or not? You can say no.
No.
All right, in this dramatic episode, we are introduced to the plaintiff, Miss Holsinger, who has petitioned the court for a DNA test to establish that the defendant, Mr. May, is the father of her 2-year-old son, Gabriel. She firmly believes that Mr. May has abandoned his responsibilities, and today she aims to uncover the truth.
I met him off the chat line. I was lonely, so I decided to call and try to basically find something to do.
Yeah, she found something to do, and we end up messing around too fast. You know what I mean? Too fast. And
Right, that's what I don't understand about these chat lines, Ron. It's supposed to be chatting.
So next time if you have a passing thought of making a Tinder account, y'all better consider the unwanted consequence Miss Holsinger has been dealing with. However, Mr. May claims that he was pressured into signing the birth certificate.
I called him and told him that it was a possibility of me having his child.
that wasn't how it was.
Yes, it is.
No, months and months passed by, and then she just told me that she was pregnant.
Were you all still in a sexual relationship all
Yes,
the time?
Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
How many months is that?
I think about 4 months.
Does this conversation leave us with a good impact? Not sure, right? But as the story unfolds, it becomes evident that doubts and suspicions were present from the start. Ms. Holsinger shares that she informed Mr. May about the possibility of her being pregnant, but he recalls it differently, mentioning that several months passed before he knew about the pregnancy.
Open up the back door, there's a gentleman right there.
Really?
And he asked me, was I there for Mrs. Holsinger? I told him I wasn't there for Mrs. Holsinger. I was there for one of her family members, and I proceeded to walk on out the door while she hid behind the refrigerator.
Oh, you saw her hiding?
Yeah.
What? If you don't like to meet someone, you'd just give them a shut-up call, rather than just hiding in your own house, Miss Holsinger, unless and until you are guilty about something or maybe hiding your affair. Now that's promising. This just gives us off the idea that you have been involved with other men during the same period.
I'm not too heavy of a sleeper, so at the time, I'm spending the night with her. I'm seeing messages pop up on the phone. That led me to doubt too. Not only the backdoor situation, but just text messages, you know what I mean? Things I would hear on the streets and things of that nature.
So you were also hearing rumors. I need you to be specific.
But you know what was the real head scratcher? The court is faced with a web of uncertainty as it's disclosed that Ms. Holsinger had another man tested, adding to the confusion of who the real father could be. Despite her claims, Mr. May's doubts persist. I mean, Anyone could have fallen for that.
I wasn't in a relationship with him. You know, I was doing my own thing too, as well as him, you know, because he was out there doing what he wanted to do too.
With me doing what I'm doing has nothing to do with her affecting her having
Well, that part I'll give you. You really can't go tit for tat with a man
And that's
in
what
that
ta-
way
and-
because, let me talk.
sorry.
I'm saying something that benefits you.
Yes, ma'am.
That's right, folks. These men must be sleeping all around the town without responsibility. And ultimately, it comes down to women like you, Ms. Holsinger, who doesn't know who their baby daddy is. So without getting everything more delayed, how about we just go to that part and bring you all some closure?
Mr. May, you are the father. Good news.
Yes, ma'am. He has a great father.
Listen,
I can't tell.
it's amazing when I think about you all saying you just were feeling lonely and didn't know what to do with yourself, so you just called a chat line.
Putting a twist on the regular features here at Paternity Court, we have Mr. Clark here. Now, he claimed he was absolutely positive he fathered baby LaCarney. The only one standing in his way was the baby mama. Cue the paternity crisis, folks.
Mr. Clark, why are these results so important to you?
Because it's a little child's life at stake, and my life is at stake too. And she's everything to me. She's my princess, and I really care about her.
And so you are convinced that you are, in fact, the father. But you say, Ms. Bolden, that's not the case.
No, ma'am.
Apparently, these guys had an argument over bills and things heated up. Mr. Clark stormed out of the house, and Mommy thought if he can do it, so can I. But instead of cooling down, he went right ahead and called up Mr. Moore. Yep, and the trouble began.
I had sex with Mr. Moore. That's the night I think I conceived.
And so you were dating Mr. Clark.
Right.
Got in an argument, you stormed out, then you cheated with Mr. Moore.
Yes.
Mr. Clark, while all of this was going on, you believed you were the father all along?
Yes, Your Honor.
So the baby daddy thought he was the real deal, and Miss Bolden let him continue believing that. Furthermore, not only her, but the other guy also believed he was the baby daddy. However, after a year, the defendant had to take this skeleton out of the closet. About time, woman.
So, Mr. Clark, did you know there was another man that she was talking about a DNA test with?
Yes, Your Honor.
You did?
Yes, Your Honor.
So at what point did you find this out?
During the relationship, I knew she cheated on me and did all of this, but like I said, I had no doubt that she was my daughter. I always felt like that. No doubt in my mind whatsoever.
Oh, baby mama wasn't gonna win any brownie points with that attitude. She was a sneaky woman, and on top of that, she apparently had a habit of changing her number quite frequently. And this was the reason for it.
Why is it he doesn't have any way to contact you?
Because I'm always changing my number. Like, I change my number like 3 times out of a month.
You do?
Yes.
Why?
Because certain people have my number and I don't want them having my number, so I just change my number.
But if this man could be your child's father, how can they keep up with their child?
Finally, Mr. Moore stepped up and stated his case. Now, he believed he was the father, and guess what? The only hurdle in his way of spending some quality time with the baby was Miss Bolden. Furthermore, the sister of Mr. Moore gave her 2 cents over all this fiasco as well.
So you see a strong resemblance?
Yes.
Think she looks like you?
Yes.
So now, do you want to be her father? You want to be there for her?
Yes.
How involved have you been in her life?
Not that much.
So if you want her to be your child and you think she's your child, why are you not involved in her life?
Cause she don't bring her around. It's hard to keep up with her.
Well, baby mama was surely playing both the baby daddies. She let the Moores involve in her life, and yet had the all to not deliver Mr. Clark's Christmas gifts to the baby. Take a guess as to what she ended up doing with the gifts. And hold on, she also had the nerve to put up a picture on Facebook to hurt the poor guy. Yeesh!
I'm self-employed. I cut hair. I do tattoos from time to time. I took my hard-working money and bought liqueur and the 2 gifts, you know, and I dropped them out to her house. She wasn't there this Christmas. I didn't get to see her. I got word that she had to open up her gifts on the porch because they were for me.
As the tension reached its peak, the courtroom was all set and ready to deliver the verdict. 2 parties were seriously involved in this, and yet one of them was bound to get devastated by the outcome of the results. Here goes nothing.
Mr. Clark. You do. You're very happy. That's good. Ms. Bolden?
Yes.
How do you feel?
I mean, I feel the same. It's no difference. And neither one of them in her life.
Mr. Brock brought her very pregnant girlfriend to court. because he had serious doubts about not just one, but all kids they shared, including the unborn one. And not just a paternity test, but a lie detector test was the order of the day. Yep, strap in for a chaotic ride as we delve into an 11-year-long relationship filled with reservations, betrayals, and a whole lot of family drama.
After an 11-year relationship, do you believe the defendant has been lying and the kids may not be yours?
We've been dealing with each other for like 11 years or whatever, but the foundation of our relationship wasn't based on husband, wifey. You know, this was somebody who I was messing with during the time I was basically ending a relationship.
So, long story short, this 11-year-long relationship wasn't a fairy tale romance, but rather a messy entanglement. Not a model couple for sure. Their foundation was about as stable as a house of cards during a windstorm, and mommy was disgusted by the daddy's behavior. Uh-oh.
Technical difficulties, I ended up getting incarcerated. Well, during that time,
From technical difficulties?
technical difficulties.
That's a new crime.
Right.
Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties.
Okay.
But before I was incarcerated, she told me that she was a certain amount of months pregnant or whatever weeks or whatever.
Okay.
Now, let's add some heartbreak to the mix, shall we? Got to make it juicy, right? Which Mr. Brock did when he had fun times with baby mama's relatives. Oh boy, messy, and messy! Well, they both weren't saints now, were they? But the baby daddy was in the jerk league of his own.
You refused the DNA test?
No, when my daughter was born, I needed to get assistance for her medical. So I went to, apply for that. And when I did, they asked me who the father was. To my knowledge at that time, he's the father. I named him and they went after him for child support. So when they did that, he questioned paternity and—
Moving on from that debacle, Miss Almanza pulled up a picture from her baby shower and ta-da! Baby Dada was there and all smiles too. If he had so many doubts, what the heck was he doing there? And check out his response. The audacity.
He was involved in my baby shower. He was there. So if he doesn't feel that he's the father, why was he there?
So, Mr. Brock, you attended the baby shower?
I mean, she invited my brother, so it's like it put me in a position to where, like, what would it look like your brother show up? I already know the little shenanigans that was put to set up for me, but your brother show up, but you don't show up.
So both of these guys had lie detector tests ordered for each other. Ah, the love they shared. Baby mama couldn't take the test because of her pregnancy, but the daddy sure could. But before we get to the juicy bits of that, the results of the DNA test were in. And here we go.
You are the father. Mr. Brock, now that it has been established that you are these children's father, I want to hear less quotes and phrases and sayings, and I want to see more action from you.
Well, looky here. Who's the fool now, huh? Mr. Brock was the baby daddy. Not sure if he was a happy news or a sad one, but it was now the truth. Moving on to the lie detector test now. Let's see if he passes that with flying colors.
The lie detector administrator asked if you have had any sexual contact with this person since then. Mr. Brock, you said no. The lie detector determined that was a lie.
What does one do exactly when one party claims to have been tricked into getting pregnant? Well, that's exactly what the plaintiff claimed to have been done by Mr. Lennon, who obviously denied being the father. Well, ain't this an explosive start to this case, huh?
I want to first off start him saying he shouldn't deny my baby when my baby looked just like him. So he was the one to plant to have me pregnant, Your Honor.
He wanted a baby?
Yes.
Tell me.
He told me that he wanted to have a child, which was biologically his, because he have two that's not his.
So this sordid love affair, or whatever you want to call it, began with an online encounter. Looking for love or lust, the site served its purpose. Baby daddy admitted he wanted a relationship, so it was hard to resist the alluring baby mama. These two were quite the pair, aren't they?
I had a 2-year-old child that passed in my life, and that kind of hurt. If I wanted to meet somebody that was kind of good. So when I got up with her, it was like a simple point was like, I wanted to see what kind of lifestyle she was.
But did you not ask
But
for
also
sex?
too, when we had sex when we was coming down the road.
Cue the doubts and suspicions, folks, as the plaintiff revealed that Mr. Lennon wanted a baby even though he already had 2 of those. Oh yeah, she thought he was looking for love, while he claimed she was after a sugar daddy. Uh-oh.
We did have sex the first time.
But
it was
also, can you
in
also-
the strength of him wanting to be my boyfriend, which I quote
That's
unquote
not
my
true, Your
sugar
Honor.
daddy.
That's not true at all.
Your sugar daddy.
My sugar daddy.
Oh, no. Your Honor, the
Hold on, wait.
My
What's the
sugar
age
daddy.
difference here? 42?
Yes,
And you
27.
So 15 years.
So the age difference was so not doing these guys any favors either. As their tumultuous relationship unfolds further, it's revealed things got steamy quickly after meeting online. But Sugar Daddy still refused to acknowledge his potential fatherhood responsibilities, citing past paternity issues.
I told her about what happened and how I was hurt 2 times off of a
I
blood
even told
test.
my sister
And I'm not
about
going through that mess again.
what Miss
'cause
So
that-
you've had paternity issues in the past,
Yes, Your
paternity
Honor, I do.
situations.
I signed the birth certificate. That's his stupid
But
stuff.
you signed the birth
No,
want to
Your
get
Honor,
the
I did
DNA
not sign
test.
no birth certificate.
So why you tell me
I did not tell you that.
Man, each revelation was knocking it right out of the park. Moving on, the confusion escalated as Miss McDaniel claimed Mr. Lennon was very much present during the window of conception. And yep, she brought out the calendar as proof. Now we were talking. Oh, the desperation was palpable.
In July, the doctor said you were 4 weeks and 5 days pregnant. That was during the window of the time you say you were sleeping with Mr. Lennon.
I was with Mr. Lennon the whole time.
You were at his house?
At his house.
We did not have sex every
Constantly being intimate with each other.
Not every day. No, we did not have sex
Every
like that.
day.
Next up was the time for the birth certificate, a symbol of legal parentage, to shine. However, it became a contentious point as the defendant denied ever signing one. And the witnesses' testimonies? Well, they just added further fuel to the already raging paternity fire. Oh, and the drama continues.
I live across
And
the
when
street,
was
I
that?
smoke cigarettes, and I watches her.
She's telling a lie. That's
Okay,
a
no,
lie,
I'm not
Miss-
lying, baby.
That's a lie.
Miss McDaniels jumped in and out of vehicles all while she was at our home.
And that's a lie, Your
Then she
Honor.
called and told the boy that she was pregnant. If he's the baby father, the baby will get taken care of.
Well, the witnesses surely served their purpose and more. However, it appears the baby daddy was a no-show on the day of birth. He gave a justification, not so convincing though. However, he asked for the baby pictures. Now that was an interesting twist. Fishy indeed.
So have you met Kimari yet?
No, Your Honor, I have not.
Never. Have you seen a picture of the baby?
I've seen plenty of pictures.
He has inboxed me in a DM and asked for pictures. Then he's all on my Instagram, like all my posts I post with my baby. Why are you all up on my Instagram if you deny my child?
Well, the timing could not be better, and the results were in. The stakes could not be higher, and the courtroom was bustling with emotions. Let's see whether the whole online fiasco was worth it or not in the end.
Mr. Lennon, you are not the father.
That's right.
Like I told you. I told you.
You sure that's right, Your Honor?
Yes, we're positive.
Maurice was the uncle.
Defendants can lie, plaintiffs can lie, but the DNA
don't lie.
It doesn't lie.
In a world where love takes unexpected twists, poor Mr. Williams found himself legally bound to the plaintiff and claimed it was all a ploy. The suspense was building as Miss Vaughn aimed to prove that Mr. Williams was her guy. But there's a twist that could turn his case upside down. Let's go then, folks.
The only thing he has done was buy 2 cases of diapers and furnish 2 outfits when he was a newborn. And he watched him while I was at work for a couple times, but it's not enough of a month full of
Your
Sundays.
Honor, one, you can't put a price on how much a man can support his child.
Yes, you can.
No, you cannot.
So these guys got married due to an unexpected pregnancy, and now they're on the fast track to divorce town. But baby daddy has got folks on campus whispering that the baby might not be his. And the chaos began.
Miss Vaughn, were you in a relationship, a committed relationship when you got pregnant?
Yes,
You were
it
just
was
dating.
A committed relationship.
You were boyfriend
Yes.
and girlfriend.
Yes.
You thought this baby was yours,
Yes, Your Honor.
but now you have doubt.
Yes, she's presented with a lot of doubt.
Now, how did she end up pregnant? That's the million-dollar question, right? It all began when they were dating and, well, things got complicated. Or so they say. the grandma shed light on whose idea this was.
Then the next step was for them to get married because her grandchild, she never said their child, her grandchild was not coming into this world a bastard. We realized that she was the one driving the bus on this relationship, and along the way I've tried to realize who's been pregnant, who got pregnant by Brian.
All right, so it appears this grand idea came from the baby mama's side of the family. Safe to say, confusion and desperation set right in, and were reigning supreme. Who's responsible for this little one, huh?
You should have told him not to have sex until he was married.
Miss Boyd, stop. Why are you telling her she should have taught her son that not have sex?
Thank you.
When your daughter's having sex with him.
Both of them.
Correct. Were engaging in activities they were not prepared to see through.
Moving on, the baby daddy sincerely believed he was just a pawn in Miss Vaughn's money-making game, and that a secret sugar daddy was the one pulling the strings. Yep, the drama got even more intense when Facebook evidence was revealed as well.
Who is this person?
It's her Papa Bear. That's her nickname for him. I've retrieved evidence from her Facebook account.
And you say she calls him Papa Bear. Miss Vaughn says, I think he should get a DNA test. And then Papa Bear says, see, Lil Connor will be calling me daddy by next month.
Oh, things were so not looking good for the baby mama. Hard to get out of this sticky situation. But instead of getting out of this mess, the plaintiff took an even messier turn. Guess what kind of relationship she was in with the said sugar daddy now?
We are an intimate relationship.
She's still married though, and he's the father.
Oh, where's that?
You get it from your mama.
No, you get your behavior from your mother because
but we've
you all
never been
don't
on
know
31st
anything.
Street.
Hold on.
Let's get it correct,
Hold
sir.
on. You're separated
Legally.
from Mr. Williams, but you are intimate with this Papa Bear guy.
Well, the grandma pushed the marriage onto these guys, knowing the full extent of the mess this whole situation has produced. And she was still standing by her suggestion and defending it as well.
You encouraged them to get married.
I wish that I wouldn't have dogged him like I did because it drew her closer to him. If I would have listened to everyone else and said, no, just let it ride, because she's gonna smarten up and she's gonna ditch the loser. But I kept on saying, he's a project.
Finally, the moment we've all been waiting for. Yep, the results. Who's the baby daddy? The answer was in that envelope and ready to be revealed. Let's roll the dice on the paternity, shall we?
Mr. Williams, you are the father. You're gonna have to raise that child together, be responsible for him, care for him. Because of whatever your doubt was, that's time he's lost when he could have had the love of his father.
Miss Lee decided to take Mr. Green to court, all to prove one thing, that he's the father of her 3-year-old son, Kingston. But he was not singing that tune and claimed to know who the real baby daddy was.
Mr. Green has been denying my child since day one. He has never came around like he's supposed to. I have to call. I have to do so much to get this man into my child's life.
I try to reach out to her several times. She don't want to meet me in the middle. She always give me some runaround excuse after excuse for, you know what I mean? It don't make sense.
Safe to say, their relationship was a roller coaster of denial and drama. He's been denying it since day one, and she's been trying to drag him into her child's life. But wait, it gets spicier. There's a girlfriend in the mix, and the accusations of breaking them up start flying. Oh yeah.
Me and her was talking, it was back and forth. We was never in no steady relationship. She knew I had a girlfriend already. She tried to break me up from that, and I told her
He moved into my home. So if I try to break him up, why are you in my home?
She knew I had a girlfriend. She even tried to call
He knew
me
he had a girlfriend, so that's his problem.
She knew too.
That ain't got nothing to do with me.
Like,
get ready, people. A whole lot of drama was heading straight your way. It appears Mommy seemed sure about who the baby daddy was, and yet she engaged in questionable posts all over social media. And Mr. Green had receipts.
Is it wrong to have choices on men and blank all on the first day just in case the D ain't good?
Oh, that's a question. That was recently.
Raise of hands. Who got the good D?
I want to know who got it.
Come on now.
I'm single. I'm
She
single.
was advertising
I want to
like,
know who
I don't
got
know
it.
who.
Fast forward, Mama found herself pregnant. And when she broke the joyous news, Dad's response was a classic, "It ain't mine." But there's a twist. Mommy Dearest had another at her beck and call. Oh dear.
I had came out of my sugar daddy's car one day.
So you do have a sugar daddy?
Yeah, I got me a good sugar daddy. My sugar daddy been there for 10 years, have never ever left my side. I would never leave him. He come way before this. You know, he might want some pictures.
But
Oh!
Now, the real head scratcher was here. Why the defendant didn't ask for a paternity test sooner? He claimed he did, but the plaintiff got a different story. No shock there. It's a game of he said, she said, and no one seems to be backing down. Well, the confusion was reaching a fever pitch.
You admittedly were sleeping with her unprotected.
yes, I was, Your Honor.
But you thought she was also having sex with other people because of the way you knew her to be, very open about sex, and...
I'm very open.
Why have you not asked for a paternity test before?
As the argument rages on, it's clear that both parties were playing a power game, and poor Kingston just wants a papa play in his life. Miss Lee's determination to break the cycle of fatherlessness was palpable. But would it be enough to bring Mr. Green around, though?
When he was first born, she was saying, she did admit that she slept with someone. After he was born, she kept asking me, oh, let me see your baby pictures. Let me get your baby picture, trying to compare them. And once she got the baby picture, that's when she felt like she was 100%.
Bingo.
She was
Don't that look like the same
sure.
baby? That's him in the blue.
But once she seen the
and
picture, that's when
right
she
there.
felt more confident.
That's him.
It's D-Day for the DNA results. Miss Lee's persistence was fueled by her upbringing, and she's desperate for Kingston to have a father. Time to see whether what she claimed indeed turns out to be true in the end, or not.
Mr. Green, you are the father.
Told you! I told you! Look at him! Woo! Thank you, thank you, thank you. We ain't got nothing to say, do you? No apology, no nothing?
I apologize, I'm sorry.
That's who you need to apologize to.
A web of drama and doubt surround the paternity of two innocent children. Yup, a whole lot was at stake here when Mr. Wilson straight up denied fathering the two kids. Get ready for a roller coaster of emotions as we unravel this paternity mystery.
When we first got together, at the time she had the baby, she was a liar, cheating all the time, had multiple guys running out of the house, all on the internet. I mean, you know, go to the apartment, everybody talking about who she messing with.
So you say these kids aren't yours?
No, they're not mine.
These kids is definitely his.
Once upon a time, in a land of age gaps and indiscretions, Mr. Wilson and Miss Butler found themselves entangled in a relationship so complex. It's like something out of a telenovela. Grab your popcorn and join this circus of romantic chaos.
You are 48, she is 25.
Yes.
Are you sure this is not a situation where you may feel like Miss Butler is out there doing her thing when really she's not because of this age difference?
No. Age will make you.
Jerome, write that down for me. We're gonna remember that note.
Okay.
In a tale packed with lies, deceit, and multiple partners, the plaintiff vehemently denied being the father in this situation. The web of betrayal, fueled by a history of cheating, leaves both parties feeling hurt. Can love survive this storm?
Calling the other guy daddy, I miss you, and I want to eat your candy cane.
What?
I remember everything.
He going to, no, I don't know.
Yes, I remember everything, ma'am.
Oh, a candy cane.
Candy cane.
I don't remember all that.
Well, there's so many guys in there, so you cannot remember.
I don't remember all that.
Let's turn back the clock to the conception of baby Zariah. By the looks of it, a lunch break visit to the mama's workplace turned into a dramatic revelation about the baby daddy. Discover how the news of the pregnancy hit him like a ton of bricks.
She was just talking about she missed a period, so I kept on telling her, go get the pregnancy test, go get the pregnancy test. So she finally got it, came to find out she was pregnant. So I always, in my back of my mind, I knew the baby wasn't mine. But I thought it was so many different men.
What do you say? Do you remember that day, Miss Butler?
Yes, I said the baby is definitely his.
Amidst doubts and blurred lines, the journey to uncover the truth becomes increasingly desperate. Who was the real father? And can they pinpoint the exact moment when love turned into a tangled web of confusion and regret? We shall see about that.
So she gave the baby's first name. Now, at the time, I thought it could be my baby. So I told her the last name would be Wilson, my last name. So the next day, I go to the hospital because they took the baby to another hospital. Come back here, go back there. The lady gave us our paperwork. It's back Butler. So I asked her, I'm like, how's the baby
Because
Butler?
you've been denying the baby, that's why.
Moving on, the whole situation still appeared to be vaguer than ever. However, Mama was sure that he was her guy. And her justification? Well, she seemed to be focused on quantity rather than reality. Delusional much?
You'd have sex with him 5,000 times and have sex with another man one time, and that one man be the father.
We always end up stopping, or we either use the condom. So I know for sure, I'm not thinking that.
You wouldn't have
the kids is his, so there's no other possible father.
The moment of truth has arrived. The courtroom was busted with anticipation, and the truth was ready to come out. Who will the results point to in this paternity puzzle? Let's find out, shall we?
Mr. Wilson are not the father.
Told you.
Are not?
Yeah, she said it. I'm not the daddy.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
That's not crazy. Yeah, she's not my baby. You better go make some phone calls.